Hey guys, so today we are going to dive into a real estate checkup. The doctor is in, and you'll see what I mean by that in a second. Um, so there are really three checks to a successful career in real estate. The first is mindset, right? So you got to be in the right frame of mind. The second is habit check, and this is what I call lather, rinse, repeat, right? So what are the processes that you have in place where you can just kind of almost put them on autopilot because you just know how to do them. You know who to call, when to call, what to send, how to send it, and you just repeat that process over and over and over again, thereby forming habits that lead to closings. And then finally, goal check. So what are your goals? How are you tracking them? How are you even creating them? So we're going to go into that now. So mindset check. So ask yourself these questions. Do you feel distracted? And the reason why mindset is so important in real estate is because um, if you have an uncluttered mind, then you can obviously focus more on, in this case, real estate, and getting more closings, doing what you're supposed to be doing every day. And if you feel distracted, then that is going to obviously interfere with that whole process. So, are you distracted? What are you distracted by? Secondly, do you feel overwhelmed? Okay, so some people relate to feeling overwhelmed in different manners, right? Most people, when they feel overwhelmed, they are paralyzed and they can't do anything. So if you're one of these folks that right now you feel overwhelmed with all that you have to do in real estate, then um, the next steps are obviously to not feel that way, to partition off exactly what it is you need to get done to be successful. Okay, getting organized. Okay, how do you stay focused and motivated? So real estate is very much a singular profession. Not a lot of realtors come into the office, and there is, in some cases, a lack of connectedness. And so that can lead to a feeling of not being focused and not being motivated. So how do you do that for yourself in this business? What do you do when you aren't working on your real estate business? And so, translation, do you have a balanced life? And so because we are always kind of constantly chasing that next deal, and commission sales is like that, it's really important to not work all the time. Okay, so what are you doing when you're not working your real estate business? How many hours a week do you devote to your real estate business? Okay, so as a result of the mindset check and answering all those questions, what are we to do about all that? Okay, so affirmations. I'm a firm believer in speaking positivity into yourself because once you do that, you're gonna start believing those things. And so I think that as humans, we're hardwired to do the opposite. We're hardwired to only focus on the negative. And so my to-do here is to choose 5 affirmations to recite every day. Now, if you're like me, I had a list of like 2 pages long, and I recorded them on my iPhone and played them back in my own voice once a day. And while that was somewhat effective, what I found is that because I just didn't focus on a few, it tended to be white noise. It tended to not really resonate. So I think that if you just focus on a handful and recite those every day, that's much more effective. So make sure that those 5 are ones that you truly connect with. Secondly, list the top 5 things you currently fear the most in this business. Sometimes it's good to write these things out and to really see it in writing. And that gives you an opportunity to internalize them so that you can look at those 5 things and say, you know what, those actually aren't that big of a deal. Why? Because I can solve them by doing this, 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 and this. Okay? So, but it's important that we become self-aware and truly understand what those things are that we fear. Because you might write them down and think, you know what, those actually aren't that big of a deal. All right, the next thing to do is what I call a T-graph exercise. So if you picture on a blank piece of paper making a large letter T across the top, you will visually see a left side and a right side. So on the left side, write down all of your negative thoughts and all the negative misconceptions you have about this business. And then on the right side, write down the corresponding positive thoughts to those negative thoughts. Okay? So left side might be something like, I know I'm going to run out of people to call. The right side of the graph might say, I will never run out of people to call. Or I need to add 5 people to my database every day so that eventually you don't run out of people to call. Okay? Next is list your top 6 strengths. Okay, and I ask you to do this because I think that if you're not straight out of college or you don't have job experience under your belt, most of us have a handful of things that we can point to that say, hey, I'm good at these things. And they're probably things that are intangible. They might be things like, I'm a really good problem solver, or I'm really good at diffusing a situation that has escalated, or I'm really good at empathy. And so whatever those 6 strengths are, list them down, look at them, internalize them. Those are the things that are going to be your differentiators amongst your clients. They're also things that you can come back to time and time again and say, you know what, as an example, this transaction may have fallen through, but I know that I'm good at these things, and I just need to rely on those things to carry me through. Okay? The next one is similar. List as many wins as you can that you've had in your life. What are your successes? Everyone's got a handful, right? And so whether that be something traditional like I have raised a great family, or I was named Employee of the Year at XYZ company, or I have a bachelor's degree in something, doesn't matter. Everyone has some wins in their life, and this serves to prove to you in those, still quiet moments of negativity that you're good at things and you have had wins. And so why not capitalize on those wins to propel you forward? Okay, we're all filled with self-doubt, but again, we all have wins in our lives. And the next thing is also related. List as many things that you can that you're grateful for. And so if you're like me, you spend so much time chasing success and chasing happiness that you don't just sit still in the moment and realize how much you really have to be grateful for. Okay? This is not an easy business. And so it's important to reflect on those times where you have had some wins and you are good at certain things and you have a lot to be grateful for. So take it from me, you have a lot more than most. And so it's important to reflect on those things and just be grateful in the moment. Okay? And then lastly, identify what I call your board of directors. Who is this? These are your people that you choose to surround yourself with that don't judge you, that build you up, that speak positivity into you, but are also people that you can go to for advice. Okay? So who are those people? There's got to be at least one. Okay? God bless you if you have 3, 4, 5, or 6. Okay, that's ideal. But figure out who those people are and reach out to them and tell them, hey, you are on what I call my personal board of directors. You're someone I can go to as a confidant, as someone whose advice I take seriously. And I just want to thank you for that. And to follow up one step more is that once you've had that conversation, send them a thank you note with your business card that says, you know, as a follow-up to our conversation, I want to thank you for being a member of my board of directors. And insert your business card. Like I mentioned, you will get referral business by just doing that. Okay? All right, so habit check. Let's check our habits. Okay, do you time block your day? I talk a lot about this, and so you could ideally, on one extreme, have every hour of every day blocked with something to do. Now, and for some people that works. I say if you can just time block your day where you've allowed some time to prospect for new business and follow up on current clients, you're doing well. Okay? But if you are feeling disorganized or overwhelmed, time blocking your day is a good solution. Okay? How do people in your database know you are a realtor? Okay? If you don't have this habit formed or habits formed, then this is a very real possibility. People that you think know, like, and trust you have no idea that you're a realtor and therefore don't refer you out. What is your one thought or idea that you go back to that keeps you going when you get knocked down? So if you get knocked down 7, you got to get up 8 times, right? So what is that one thought that you keep coming back to that keeps you going? Okay, that can be a habit. That has to be a habit, because sales is a series of ups and downs, successes and failures, yeses and nos. So what is that one thought? Do you have a business plan, and do you have a marketing plan? Okay, your business plan and marketing plan serve to help keep you on track. Do you have those? So if real estate is being in the right place at the right time, how can you increase your chances of being in the right place at the right time? Okay, what are those habits that you have in place? In my mind, it's getting in front of as many people every single day as you possibly can. Okay, and by that, I don't mean always physically getting in front of them. It could be texts, it could be calls, it could be instant messaging, it could be a bunch of things. Okay, but that is a habit. So habit check to-dos. Create a database and rank them. So if you don't have a database, you need one. So create one. And so what is a database? It is a dumping ground or a CRM, customer relationship management system, that keeps all of your contacts in one place. Why is that important? Because that becomes your target for who you communicate with, whether that be an email campaign, a series of phone calls, or what have you. Don't forget our follow-up system on our website that tells you exactly how to follow up with your database. And then I say rank them A, B, C, and D. And so A's are going to be people that already know, like, and trust you and would refer business to you. B's are going to be people that know and like you, but don't trust you enough maybe to give you a piece of business. Okay? C's are people that really don't know you, like, or trust you that well just yet. They could. But they're people that have a low probability of referring a piece of business to you just because of those factors. And then D's are deletes. D stands for delete. People that you haven't kept in contact with, or maybe you have and they're just not going to materialize into anything. They should be people that you delete. Okay? But until you categorize them, you're not going to know how to treat them. Okay? Stop, start, continue. So in your business, you have done things that have been successful, some have not been. And so I really want you to analyze what of those things you need to stop doing, things you need to start doing, and things that you need to continue doing because they have proven to be successful. Okay, so this is an inventory assessment of your business. So what things do you need to stop doing? What things do you need to start doing? And what things do you need to continue doing? If you reach out to 10 people every day and that has bared fruit, then that is something you need to continue to do. If you don't do that, maybe that is something you need to start doing. Okay? If you are mailing things to a farm and you've done that for a year and you've spent money doing that and it hasn't materialized, maybe that's something you need to stop doing, as one example. List 3 sources of business, both for short-term results and 3 for long-term results. Okay, so in real estate, you have the motivated and the I'm not quite motivated enough to make a decision group. Okay, so what are those sources? I can tell you off the top of my head what they are for me. Expired listings, FSBOs, and open houses. They are the motivated. The one for longer term results would be a farm. It would be your database. It would be just, doing various seminars. Okay. Those are going to garner long-term results. So things that you have to keep maintaining and fostering, knowing that eventually someday that's going to pay off. Work by referral is a great example, right? But sources of business that are immediate, again, are going to be open houses, expired FSBOs, internet leads to some degree, paid leads to some degree, but those 3 are going to be your primary short-term wins. Review our documents on all the sources of business out there. So we have posted on our website 60 ways to get listings and 101 ways to prospect. Download those. They're great thought starters for how to get business. We also have documents on warm leads and cold leads, and that talks a lot about short-term and long-term business. Okay, and then weekly review. Ask yourself at the end of each week, what worked well and what didn't? What do I need to tweak? What do I need to continue to keep doing? Okay, you need to become self-aware. And then choose 10 people each day and write them a note card. It could be a thank you note. It could be a thinking of you card. It could be about something specific. But thank you notes go a long way. Written notes go a long way. And the key is to handwrite the note. The key is to handwrite the address on the envelope. Okay, get into these habits and your business will start taking off. All right, so goal check. What things do you need to accomplish in the next 30 days or the next quarter to reach your goals? Do you know the answer to that question? Where are your goals memorialized? Are they written down? Okay? A goal that is only in your mind is really, you're only halfway there. You need to write them down so you can see it, read it, and internalize it. What has prevented you from reaching your goals in the past? And be honest. Is it just that you're a procrastinator? Is it that you were barking up the wrong tree in terms of a source of business? Has it been something like you feel overwhelmed and so therefore you get paralyzed? Is it you just got distracted? Be honest. What has prevented you from reaching your goals in the past? How are you measuring your progress? Are you measuring your progress? Okay, how do you know if you're on track if you're not measuring your goals? All right, so I think that is it for the goal check. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any questions about how to organize this or create structure, please come and see me. It's not as difficult as you might think. And I wish you all the best.